Hello everyone, Lisa Sabaniak here from LifeLikeYouMeanIt.com, and I'm coming to you live for us to talk about another coping with anxiety tip. So today what I'd like to talk about is really very similar to imposter syndrome. And for anybody that suffers with imposter syndrome, you will recognize this. It's that feeling or that mantra that you play to yourself of not being good enough. And oftentimes what causes us a great amount of anxiety is the disconnect between what it is we want and what it is we think we can have, whether we think we can deserve it or don't deserve it, whether we think we can do it or can't do it, right? Whether we think we're worthy or unworthy of something. And oftentimes that disconnect is not valid, for lack of better term, that when we feel like we can't do it, that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve it, we actually don't have any evidence for that at all. Sure, we may have messed up in the past. Sure, some things that we've done maybe didn't end up working out the way that we had hoped. We've all made some bad decisions, right? We've surrounded ourselves with maybe not the best people at times, and we've made difficult choices that didn't turn out to be really for our best. But that doesn't mean that they are evidence that we can't do it, whatever it is, that we can't evolve and that we don't deserve to have good things and a better life, happiness, peace, tranquility, success, whatever it is that you're looking for, right? Because what ends up happening when we develop these types of beliefs about ourselves, from that moment on, we end up looking for evidence to validate them. And in essence, we don't want to prove ourselves wrong, right? We're basically looking for absolutely anything that will say, yep, I knew it, told you so, right? On some weird level that makes us feel good that we have actually found something to corroborate this story that we're telling ourselves, even though that story is a negative one and really self-defeating. So then when it comes time for us to try to gain success in an area of our lives, whether that's personal or professional, it really doesn't matter, in our relationships, in our emotional well-being, our mental health, or whatever we're looking at, then we end up sabotaging ourselves because what we're trying to get doesn't match the reality that we think exists, right? The story that we've been telling ourselves all along. And that causes a huge amount of anxiety because then, of course, we go on social media and we talk to our friends and family who maybe are having some successes in their lives, and we start to compare ourselves to them, and we just kind of spin it right out of control, don't we? I mean, I know that I do this, so I'm sure that there are so many of you watching that also do this. So what do you do about it? How do you combat this? So the first thing that you need to do with this tip for coping with anxiety is to first of all recognize what's going on, right? Catch yourself out, recognize that part of what is causing your anxiety is your wanted reality not matching your current perceived reality, right? So in other words, what you want is not matching with what you think you can get for whatever reason, and that's causing you your anxiety. Once you are aware of that, then you can start actually analyzing it a little bit more and looking at, okay, what is the real reality of this? Because when you really look at the bottom of it, you will find that all of the evidence that you have gathered to tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you are not capable, you're not deserving, you're not worthy, you can't do it, none of that is real. That is all based on you looking through eyes that already believed that that was the truth when whatever experience unfolded in front of you, and you chose to see it in that way because the belief was already there. And that means that if you can just, for a moment, just open yourself out to doubt and just say, is it possible that that experience or that situation that I had where I ended up feeling like I'm not good enough, is it possible that if I was to look at that through different eyes that were not already believing that you're not good enough, that you would see it in a different way? Is it possible that if you did that, you would see it differently? And you know what? Asking yourself that question opens up the door. I'm telling you, because then all of a sudden you're going to be like, huh, well, I wonder if there was an outsider or one of my close family or friends that was there and witnessed all of this. Huh, would they have taken the same thing from it? Would they have thought that whatever had unfolded there meant that I wasn't good enough? If I talked to my very best friend or my nearest and dearest loved one to me, would they agree with me that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve happiness or success or tranquility or peace in my life, that I can't do it? No. No. So who's wrong? Is it you or is it them? Open yourself up to doubt. Doubt that the beliefs that you have are real. Doubt that the experiences that you've had, that you've used as evidence to validate those beliefs, are perhaps not the way they actually happened, or don't have to be perceived in the way that you were perceiving them, that there is a different choice, right? All of those times that we've made mistakes and we've done something and afterwards, hindsight is is everything. You look back and say, oh my God, what was I thinking? Right? All those times that happens, right? If you wait a year or 5 years and you look back on that experience, you look at it with usually a little bit more fondness. You're able to laugh at yourself over that mistake, and you're able to recognize that actually I've grown so much since then. And actually, if I hadn't met that person, I might not actually have taken this particular path to get to where I am right now. And you start to see that there's a whole world that kind of unfolded in front of you because of that experience. And so you start to look at that experience a little bit differently. And that's really what open to doubt is all about. But doing it in this moment, not waiting a year or 5 years or 10 years from now, but in this moment, asking yourself, when that anxiety starts to build up, first and foremost, is this anxiety here because what I want is not matching with what I think I can have? And if yes, all right, why do I have this disconnect? Why do I believe that I can't have it? What evidence am I actually looking at here? And when you pop up that evidence, then start to shoot it down, right? One by one. Is that evidence really evidence that you're not good enough? Who in your life would protest for that? I hope that this helps. Thank you so much, everybody who has been watching. Go on over to my IGTV and check out all of my other videos on coping with anxiety. It's a whole series that I have running, trying to help you through this coronavirus, but then also beyond, right? Because anxiety is something that every human on this planet is faced with to some degree or another. So doing my little bit to help. Go on over and check out the videos. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the playlist. And if you're watching on Facebook, of course, all the videos are there as well. Bless, stay healthy and safe.